Welcome back to my childhood trauma. We're on to Act 2 now, so let's see what crazy stuff is cooked up by these absolute madmen. Or mad women, rather.
This time I have a number of escape ideas.
By any chance is one simply to just run from the farm in a single direction? Because that might just work. You don't need all of these.
Okay, which plan do you want to talk about?
Oh wow, look at all these options. I think I'll pick... none of them.
Well, away with you, Ginger.
Seems a bit rude. So the difference with Act 2 is that it's actually daytime. Now this means we can roam around the pen all we want. I mean, we're still within the fence, right? The dogs are still here, but it's not like I'm doing anything wrong. What the hell is your problem? It's daytime! We're allowed outside! What, are we just expected to stay in our little huts all day on a day like this? Do I look like a wedded mod? So, seeing as the dogs don't want me to go outside while I'm still in the chicken one, wink wink, we still need to avoid the dogs. But if we head into this hut and pick up this rusty spoon, we can use it to dig a hole over here. All these contraptions and you never thought to just dig a hole with a spoon. Ginger, what are you doing? But once we're out, we see a new face.
Rocky, you're here.
Well, how about that?
We need objects from around the edge of the farm.
Sleep tight, Angel Face. The rug's on the cake.
Oh really? The Walker's helping chickens escape farms now? His career's really gone downhill. So now we can play as Walkie. He is basically the same as Ginger, except... Okay, no, he literally plays the exact same. But let's head back without actually doing anything.
Yo, baby doll.
Great. Did you get anything?
What?
You were supposed to get things for us.
What did I tell you? The Walk is on the case. Give him a chance. But we do need items, so let's head into here, where we can see this beautiful tractor. I wonder what it does. Wow. That was amazing. And after a bit of platforming, we get these fireworks, which I think we can all agree are less amazing than this. So we get the fireworks, we get the pram chalice, we lose the pram chalice almost immediately after getting caught, we get the pram chalice back, which implies Mr. Tweedy deliberately put it back in the exact same place. This is where they keep it. We then meet the worst god dog known to mankind. How can you not squeeze your head in here? Now we have to push this off here, which is going to take an eternity to do. Why is this so slow? Finally it's done. And then we have to do it again. Walkie, pick up the pace, would you? Eventually we get the ladders, and we also find a bonus picture. Cool. I wonder what we found. Huh. I'm gonna save that for later, actually. You still can't see me. You walked right up to me. Can we just acknowledge, by the way, that Mr. Tweedy walked right past Ginger, who was just standing right there? Why does he not care? Ginger might as well make a run for it now. Now we go over to the other side. I've never witnessed anything closer to true beauty than that right there. Well, we're Walkie here as well. Going to have to wait for Mr. Tweedy to move so I can— Oh god, there's a dog. Oh, there's a dog. Oh god damn it. That wasn't fair. They ganged up on me. And now I have to go back for the fireworks. Just blow them up in her face before she can take them. Once she's dead, we can just waltz on out of here. Well, once we get past her, we enter the egg room. Okay, so at night she paces back and forth in and out of her front door. During the day, she wanders back and forth between the egg room. Someone really needs to check on this woman. Well, we pick up some weights because that's going to be easy to carry around, and some matches. However, because we spawn right behind Mrs. Tweedy, we lose the matches.
Well, how about that?
Yes, how about that? She put them right back in the exact same place because that way they couldn't possibly be stolen a second time. Time to head back out. Oh. Well, she closed the door on me. Well, not to worry, we'll wait until she comes back because this is all she does with her life. We now head into the garden where we have to grab this tennis racket, but this greedy dog doesn't want to share. Well, he went back to sleep quickly, especially considering I didn't even leave, he just couldn't be asked to catch me. But we can swap it with a bone, Indiana Jones style. Oh god damn it, I alarmed them again.
Rocky, did you manage to get anything?
Hey, good things come to those who wait, dollface.
In other words, you didn't get
Chickle.
But we have all the stuff needed for our first minigame, Spring Chicken. In this minigame, you have to fling chickens over the fence and have them land on one of these boxes floating in the pond. However, if you throw them into the pond itself, it doesn't count. And most likely, that chicken has drowned and died a horrible death. All in all, it's not a bad minigame, but it can be a little annoying. You do need to be very precise, otherwise it won't work. And aiming this thing isn't the best either. Getting the boxes to the side is too complicated, so I just focus on the two in the middle, and which tends to work. But I think what would work even better is if instead of landing on the boxes, You just move the
Flooding.
launcher to the side where there's land. At least that way you don't have to risk these chickens drowning. There's land right there. You have to get at least 20 over the edge or else you have to do it again. Which begs the question why we're not repeatedly doing this until enough chickens are out. If I fail this 100 times by getting 19 chickens over, that's 1,900 chickens saved, and I am not ashamed to admit that I did in fact use a calculator to work that out.
Good show. You saved enough of the flock for me to give you a bronze medal.
The rest of the flock can die for all I care. So rather than continue to save the lives of our fellow chickens, I want to look in Hut 12 because I got an exciting new camera angle. This is my main priority. Why is Ginger charging at me? What did I do? I think this is what I should have been scared of as a child. That or she just wants attention. Yes, hello Ginger, we see you. Oh, do you want some privacy? I'll take that assault as a yes. Well, back to saving chickens, I guess. And our next minigame is Weight Expectations. In this minigame, you have to launch chickens once again, but this time onto a mattress so they bounce over the fence. The only problem is these two chickens holding the mattress keep running around the place. How does this help? If you just stay in one place, we could do this much easier and faster. You're only hurting our chances of escaping. They actually run away from the chickens sometimes. Are we sure these guys aren't double agents? Oh hey, that one bounced off the chicken itself. And that one somehow went straight through the mattress. Okay, the laws of nature don't apply to life anymore. After a while, they just run off. At least leave the mattress so we can still try and escape. I think this one missed her cue. Damn it! Foiled by a tiny hole in the ground. Well, we got the fireworks back. God damn it! Well, we got the fireworks back. Now we can start the final minigame, Foul Shot. Here we have to launch chickens with fireworks on their back past openings in the farmhouse doors and windows that open and close on a concerningly windy day. Just make sure they get through the holes or you'll just give them blunt force trauma. Aiming is the biggest enemy in this game. There's no crosshair so it's hard to judge exactly where they'll go, but otherwise it's fine. And no, you can't just camp one single window. I've tried that, it doesn't work. It'll never open. Now let's just admire this chicken's little run. And after that, we've beat Act 2. But now we head on to one of the more interesting boss levels. Inside the pie machine. Yes, we play as Wocky and have to traverse this pie machine, which is essentially an obstacle course, which is accompanied by some lovely music. It's so upbeat and lively, a real contrast to the music we've had so far. Oh great, but when you die you still get that eerie music and black background. What a tonal shift! This does make for a nice change of pace and is actually quite a fun minigame, though I do want to acknowledge that Wocky can get knocked out by gravy. Gravy? More brutal than being doused in sulfuric acid. Well, we make it to the end. Now come on. You were just casually standing there the whole time. You weren't even in danger, you could just run out. Now that's done. And somehow Wocky dying in the pie machine counts as getting caught. That makes sense. And now we're on to our final act, Act 3.
Fowler's provided the answer. Who needs Rocky anyway?
Okay, I know in the actual story Wocky leaves and stuff, but that hasn't happened in the game. So in this canon, Wocky saves Ginger from the pie machine, and then Ginger just decides to slag Wocky off. What an ungrateful little
Shickle.
Well, hey, I've been working on my calculations.
It turns out 2 plus 2 does equal 4, who knew? So now we have to build a plane to fly out of the farm by constructing 3 main components.
It has to be big.
These components. How exciting. Let's look at... none of them. I like that this hut basically turned into a disco. Clearly they've been working really hard. Okay, I think Ginger embarrassed herself. Mac doesn't even care, and we're back to nighttime. Not that that makes much of a difference, seeing as the chickens aren't even allowed to see sunlight, but here's the deal with this act. We don't just control Ginger, and Wocky I guess died on his way back to his home planet, but we do control Nick and Fetcher. Only they will only help us if we give them eggs. How do we get eggs? From this hut right here, where we have another minigame, the Bunty Eggs Press. In this minigame, we force feed these chickens until they lay eggs. There is something deeply disturbing about this. The fact we're feeding these chickens so much at once that it forces them to immediately lay eggs. This has to be some form of torture. Please, no more. I can't eat anymore. Please stop. And you have to make sure you actually catch them in the basket, otherwise they'll splat on the ground. I'm sure there's a more efficient and humane way to do this, but no. You have 30 seconds and you better get me 6 eggs. I don't care how much it hurts. What? No way you are still hungry. I fed you enough to feed Tuvalu. Just barely we make it. Now these chickens can rest. Now we have our 6 eggs. Although if you're gonna put nails in them like that, you won't have any left. Okay, now we have to wait for Mrs. Tweedy to do our usual routine. Are you still badgering on about profits? Oh god, I'm sorry. Complain about profits all you want, just stop glaring at me. Okay, now we're in the egg room. Oh really? You're not strong enough to push this, but Wocky is apparently. Ginger, you just need to believe. Oh, never mind. Mrs. Tweedy doesn't agree with believing in yourself. And why is she blue? Dabba-dee dabba-die. Well, despite the fact that Ginger can't push this little crate, we're lucky enough that she is strong enough to push a crate 4 times bigger. How did I not see this before? Good thing Mrs. Tweedy is deaf apparently. How does she not hear me? But finally we get to Nick and Fetcher, who of course needs 6 eggs in order to do anything.
We'll get just what you need.
Meet later, back here. And make sure you don't forget anything.
Okay, I've had my fun. Let's head back to Ginger.
You mean you got nothing?
Well, that's exactly what we've got.
So now we have to go back to Hut 2 and force feed these chickens until they explode and get more eggs. And now we can continue. So here's the deal with Nick and Fetcher. They're basically the same as Ginger and Wocky, only they're even more useless, as only Nick can push things and only Fetcher can double jump. Great. Ginger, you may as well do it all yourself. Considering you're just standing there. You don't actually need these two. So here we have Mr. Tweedy trying to fix the pie machine. Well, at least he's smart enough not to call them chickens. You have to guide him away by pressing these buttons, which do something. His walk is so glitchy though. This guy can't even do walking properly, and you expect him to fix this contraption.
Et voila!
There's French, in case you was wondering.
An oil can.
That's English in case you were wondering. Well, before we go back to Nick and Thatcher, we need to get more eggs. Please stop. It hurts. My body's producing eggs like a dairy farm. You know what? I'm just not going to feed the yellow chicken. Bunty and the other one can get all the feed, you can starve.
Flippin' heck. Look at this list, Fetcher.
It is an interesting list.
If we're risking our tails and whiskers for you, love.
Oh dear, I don't like the sound of this.
So you were expecting free labour in exchange for them risking their lives.
We need at least 6 eggs.
More like 10 for this one, wouldn't you say, Fetcher?
10?
I literally cannot carry that many. 6 is the max I can do. Ginger again is just going to stand in a doorway. It's wide open, there's nothing stopping you. Do you want to escape or not? So when you go into the living room, you have this dog standing in front of the fireplace. Hopefully he moves when Christmas comes. Well, let's just ignore him. Oh, Jesus Christ, never mind. I don't ever want to see this dog that close ever again. So to get past this dog, we need to put on a gnome, which is just sitting in the kitchen. Exactly where gnomes are meant to be. And we walk past the dog, who is now questioning their own sanity, seeing a gnome fly past him. He's gonna need therapy. And then the therapist is gonna need therapy after seeing the dog. And to get up here, we need to use these curtain pole things, which Nick is lovingly embracing.
I'm too weak.
But we can't because Fisher doesn't believe in himself. But this time we can do it. The lack of sound effects really make this a really surreal experience. So we get the binoculars, and the ball of yarn, and finally some laundry which surely Ginger could have grabbed. And now to the sewers. How did they get down here so fast?
Right, my dear. What are your needs?
I do not like the way he said that.
We need some chain, some poles and an engine.
A non-concerning set of items. Of course I came here forgetting that we need to get eggs, so that was a wasted journey. All I have is wood. I regret saying that. I'm sorry, but you have to offload the things you're carrying so you can hold the eggs we give you. I think this is just an excuse that I don't have to be force-fed again. Too bad. I got rid of the wood. Now you must eat. Eat until you can take no more, and then eat some more. None for you though. You don't get any food. But you must eat. Never stop eating. But now we move on to the last Nick and Fetcher section, where we return to the tractor. I can't wait to see this again. This is the reason I live. Anyways, we turn the tractor on, pull some thingies, and then... Hey, what the hell, you ruined it. Once we press this though... I can see why Mr. Tweedy doesn't use this tractor. But now we have all the stuff, and we may kill the passerby with a tractor engine. All in a day's work.
Yes, and your engine's waiting for you.
And yes, the engine is already at the correct hut. How convenient it flew to the exact place we needed it. Still disappointed no one was killed. Minigame time, yay! Poultry in motion. I hate this minigame. So the way this works, you have to oil the engine, then pedal on the engine to get it running. But you also need to make sure that Wocky doesn't run out of bubbles in his back. Wait, what? Hold up. First of all, Wocky is still here. I thought he left. Hence why Ginger says...
Who needs Rocky anyway?
But no, he was here the whole time. Ginger is just an arsehole for no reason. What an arsehole. And second, why the hell do you need to make sure Wocky is satisfied in his little bath while we're trying to make an engine run? But the worst part about this minigame is the controls. You have to mash the buttons shown for the respective action, and with an extremely strict time limit, you have to mash them really fast. So playing this minigame looks a little something like this. To put this into perspective, carpal tunnel syndrome would feel like one of those head massages in comparison to playing this minigame. And it's so damn strict with the time that beating this thing is a chore in of itself. But there's no greater feeling of relief when it's finally over. Except for the horror that my hand doctor feels when I have to call him and tell him I've played Chicken One again. The next minigame thankfully is not as bad. Chicken Wings. Here you have to mash buttons again. Oh come on! It's nowhere near as bad as the other game though, but after playing the last minigame my hand muscles have not morphed back into actual hands. Otherwise you just collect the wings when they're done and it's pretty easy all things considered. But now on to our final minigame, Hen at Work. This is a nice one. It's basically a rhythm game where you have to press the right button in time with Mr. Tweedy using his tools. It is quite unrealistic. You're expecting me to believe this guy can use tools. You even have this little dancing chicken telling you when to press the buttons. It's so adorable. All in all, a pretty easy minigame. And actually quite fun. A good one. Logistically, sure, it's a little weird that Mr. Tweedy does his DIY work in a rhythm. I guess there's not much keeping them entertained on that farm. And he's not very fond of walking back and forth aimlessly. And we're supposed to keep in time with Mr. Tweedy so he doesn't hear us. Though even when we do mess up constantly, he's just like, duh? I think we can do this all we want, he's too stupid to understand anything. Does he do that every time he finishes working? And that is Act 3 done. And now on to the final boss. Oh no, it's Mrs. Tweedy. She's finally decided to do something instead of pacing back and forth. So in this boss fight, we have to fly and avoid Mrs. Tweedy throwing an endless supply of axes. Why does anyone need this many axes? I would ask where she gets them from, but I don't think I want to know. So we should just be glad that it's not gravy. While doing that, you have to give her blunt force trauma by smacking her off the scenery in the level. I feel for anyone in these houses who is wondering what the hell is going on here, and why someone is throwing bloody axes. In terms of final bosses, it's alright. It's not amazing, but it's not unbearable. And it does make sense with the story in some way. Basically, keep this up until we reach the farm? Why the hell are we back at the farm? Was the goal not to escape? Did we get cold feet and decide to just come back? Being free is no fun. You have to pay taxes and stuff. I just want to be hunted by dogs for all eternity. Anyways, now that the chickens have decided to return to the farm, rendering everything we went through completely pointless, we finish the game. And with that, that's Chicken 1 over. So yeah, as I say, this is a pretty fun game, and one I definitely wanted to play on this channel. But although we've beat the game, there is still one more video I want to do on this game because I found something really cool that I want to go through. I won't say what it is, it's probably not that exciting, but still, there's one more of these to come. Anyways, if you enjoyed that video, feel free to subscribe and take care.